Smarslik took to the top step of the podium in Wrocław, Poland, and celebrated his first victory on home shale for 5 years. The Grand Prix Series returned to the Olympic Stadium after a 12-year absence from the World Championship calendar, and what a night it proved to be. A ticket couldn't be bought, and the Polish fans came with full voice as our warriors of shale raced heat after heat, side by side, defying places to put bikes and racing every line possible as all 16 riders looked to reach the final. Eventually, after two closely fought semi-finals, which saw current series leader Emil Seifutinov exit with 14 points, Smarslik would be joined by Denmark's Leon Madsen, Martin Vašilik and Janis Kowodze. Vašilik in red and from the inside took the initial lead until Smarslik in yellow, going into turn 3, went from third to first in what can only be described as the move of the night. Madsen in white would eventually overtake Kowodze for third, but the night belonged to the likeable Pole, who took his second Grand Prix victory of 2019.
This night is unbelievable for me, and but I stand up today on the bed, and I think so that today is a not bad day. I feel it, and I was very happy.
So, for 2 race meetings in a row now, we have a 3-way tie for the lead of the World Championship. Smarslik leads by virtue of his FIM ranking over Emil Seifutinov and Leon Madsen, all on 61 points apiece. Martin Vašilik lies fourth, just 2 behind the leaders. The series now arrives in Malilla in Sweden for round number 6 as we enter the second half of the series here at the D&G Arena. It's qualifying from the FIM Speedway Grand Prix qualifying G&B Arena, Malilla in Sweden. Hi, good evening. Welcome along from Kelvin Tatum and myself. We are in the pits here at the G&B Arena in Malilla, the home of Dakarna in the Swedish League, as we enter round 6 of the World Championship. We've got qualifying for you. We're going to build up to tomorrow night's action. Kiri Bloor will be talking to the riders in the build-up to tomorrow's meeting, and indeed qualifying here tonight. Track looks great, Kel.
Yeah, earlier on, I must say that the track was ideal. We've had a little bit of rainfall, so we've got a nice, even spread of moisture in the surface. And so far, I think the boys have been really enjoying it.
Well, let's hear from a local lad who plies his trade here in Malilla. Jakob Torshäll is speaking to Kiri.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you so much, Nigel. Jakob Torshäll joins me down here. The reason you are here is because you've just won your Swedish championship and you ride for local club Dakarna, so you know exactly what this track is like. So tell me, first of all, what do you make of the track tonight?
It's pretty good. They put some new material, I think, on the track, so it's starting to be better and better, and I think tomorrow will be a great racetrack.
Okay, well, we've been told the red gate works very well here. From your experience, which gates work well here?
Yeah, for sure, red and blue is really good, but you can make from 4 as well if you ride a smart first corner and make a good cutback, and so yeah, it's possible to make it from 4 as well.
Okay, and you're out here to prove your worth as well. Sweden desperately need another rider, so tonight's going to be important for you.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to tomorrow, and just going to go out and have some fun and ride the best I can.
All right, thanks so much, Jakob. Nigel, back to you.
Yeah, thanks very much indeed, Kiri. It's Jakob's 3rd Grand Prix appearance in his career, so a big night for him tomorrow.
It is, and he's full of confidence winning the Swedish Championship. Just recently he's at his home track, so yeah, you've got to believe that he'll want to put in a really top performance tomorrow evening. And of course, he's very familiar with the surroundings. We've got our first competitor on track, of course, the winner 2 weeks ago.
Just a reminder then, it is qualifying here in Malilla. Every bike now has a transponder on it, so it's timing, and the order from fastest to slowest here tonight will then get a pick of where they ride in the riding order tomorrow night. And they have first pick, if you like. The fastest rider has first pick of where he wants to be in the riding order, which will then dictate his starting positions tomorrow night. That's how it works, Kel.
Indeed it does, and Smarslik's looking for a good time now. 14.2. 13.6 was the fastest time from free practice, but the track has slowed somewhat since they've done some prep on it. Smarslik, of course, was superb 2 weeks ago in Wrocław, coming through to win in fine style in what was actually a wonderful Grand Prix, and Malilla has quite a lot to live up to in truth, but this track is a super speedway track, no doubt about that, and if the weather behaves, we're going to be in for a thriller in Malilla tomorrow night, that's for sure.
It's not taking you long to use that line, has it?
No, it hasn't.
Thriller in Malilla.
Exactly, I'm sure you'll get it in as well at some point.
That was lined up for about 7 o'clock tomorrow, to be fair.
Yeah, you can do it again. But 14 flat is what Smarslick has done, and there's no doubt that he'll be pretty pleased with that because, as I say, the time slowed somewhat after the first couple of track grades.
The shape of the track here, Kelv, and the conditions of the track today, with there has been the odd shower, no more than that. But for me, I'm no expert, you're the man who's ridden a bike, but the track looks mint.
Lovely, and there's no doubt that the new material that they introduced is binding nicely with the surface. Janowski knows this place well, and he needs a big Grand Prix, missing the first round with the injury dramas to his shoulder. Not a good Speedway of Nations either, so second half of the Grand Prix series needs to really hit the ground running into his first real open lap. Bit of a bump there, bit of a hole on the first corner.
He missed the first round, but he's still in 8th position, which would be enough for him to qualify automatically for next year's series.
But it's very tight there. So
just a bit, yeah.
It is, so you can ill afford to be complacent. He needs a big result to make sure he secures his top 8 place. He's 14.2, that's 2/10 behind Smarslick at this stage. Classy rider, Janowski, real classic style on the bike, like the way he rides. 14.2, very consistent indeed. Track just a little patchy. I spoke to Martin Vashlik earlier, he said he was enjoying it, but it was a touch patchy, but let's see if he can produce something on his third lap. Yes, he can. That's a fabulous third lap. 13.9, that's a little quicker than Smarslick. Good effort, very good effort.
Yep, Maciej Janowski from Poland then, as Kelvin mentioned a little bit earlier, knows this track extremely well, and one of a clutch of riders trying to gain automatic qualification for next year's Speedway Grand Prix Series. Having a little cheeky start down the back straight.
Too good not to be in the series.
Yes.
He's a multiple Grand Prix winner, potential world champion. And the Poles like him. Of course, the reception he had in Wrocław 2 weeks ago was outstanding. They loved him, just missed out on the final.
5 Grand Prix wins in 51 appearances for Maciej Janowski.
Decent record. Now we've got the world champion on track, and he's up to speed now. He's had 2 or 3 league matches, and he's been scoring double figures every time he's been out and about. He's won here, of course. He enjoys riding this track. It's right up his street. And I would suggest that Ty will be looking for a really big performance tomorrow evening.
And you know, just despite his really difficult season in 2010, when he struggled, Woofenden now does average almost 11 points per GP. Tomorrow will be his 84th Grand Prix of his career.
Yes, and that in itself, the consistency is the reason why he's won 3 world titles. You just can't do it without it. Somebody I spoke to, Martin Vashlik, about the consistency. He's got it right now. But Woofenden looking for a top 8. He's in 16th right now, and he needs 2 or a couple of really big performances to put himself in the hunt. 14.2, that's not quite there at the moment. He's riding wide, and that means you're going a lot further. Probably won't produce the time if you go that wide. The bike feels good, it's pulling hard, but as a consequence, it just doesn't produce the time. So Ty looking good on the bike. There's no doubt that he'll be a major threat tomorrow. Because he's got the bit between his teeth now. Very brave, of course, to come back in a Grand Prix without any practice at all. Quite staggering on reflection, but his performances in the Extra League and in Sweden have been good, very good.
Yeah, in a very relaxed frame of mind, but he has said to us privately he would love to get in the top 8 as well, despite missing 2 rounds.
He's a proud man.
He wants to qualify, doesn't want to rely on a pick, which surely he would get as a 3-times world champion, but
you'd have to, yeah.
You know, he would love to get in the top 8, not rely on that, Kelv.
Well, he needs 30 points somewhere. If he can get 30 points in the next 2 Grand Prix, he'll have every chance of forcing his way into the top 8. But as I say, it's very, very condensed in that region. We see Mikkel Mikkelsen now. He is an interesting character, a Danish man, and is riding very well. Has taken a little bit of time to come to himself.
Just come good this year,
yeah, he has, and all of a sudden his performances have improved. He's just won the last round of the European Championship, which was held in Voyens, where we will be soon, back to Voyens for the Grand Prix Series. But Mikkel Mikkelsen, the 3rd reserve rider, is in as a consequence of injuries to Robert Lambert and Greg Hancock not being here, but be interesting to see what sort of time he can produce.
Yeah, good rider, Mikkel Mikkelsen. We've seen him in the UK riding for Eastbourne, and certainly the type of rider that has really been a slow burner in many ways. He was part of a generation of Danish riders under the tuition of Erik Gundersen, who were along the similar generation to Michael Jepsen Jensen, who's a Grand Prix winner, of course.
Nicolai Klint.
Yeah. Perhaps didn't reach full potential, but Mikkelsen now just seems to be getting up to speed.
Coming good, Nigel.
Coming good, yeah.
And his performances at the highest level now are beginning to be, well, you can't avoid them. He's producing double-figure scores in Poland and in Sweden on a regular basis, so the boy's becoming much more confident, and he is making his way. Times here, steady into third place, just beating Woofenden, and it will be tight. Gate 1 and 2, we've heard that, 104 victories in the time we've been here from Gate 1. That's nearly double the amount of any other gate, so quite possibly riders will be focusing their attentions on that.
Well, yeah, when you finish high up and you get a pick of your rider order number, those stats will have to come into play, Kelf.
They have to. The nature of the track. Last year, the stats were slightly warped because we had a very wet evening, and as a consequence, the outside gate came to the fore a bit. We did hear Jakob saying that you can make it from 4, but you've got to make a smashing start, and you need the guy on gate 3 in the white helmet colour to miss it, really.
Matti Zegar, who has joined the 100 Club. He's now with 102 Grand Prix appearances in his career. Made his debut 16 years ago in the Grand Prix. This fella, still a class act on his day, and looking for a fast time here now.
Yeah, he will do, and he's good at this. If he really puts his mind to it, Zegar's very quick indeed, lovely style, and hasn't had a great season, but he's not far away from the top 8, as I say. A couple of really strong Grand Prix can turn your season around, and maybe the second half of this year will be significantly better than the first half. You know, he had a difficult time. He got excluded, of course, in Wrocław, and really had no points from his first 2 outings and was on the back foot right from the word go. But we're into the laps, 14.1. That's a half sensible time. That puts him in 4th at this stage. Track is, the dirt is beginning to move out. So that inside line, he cuts back to the inside, looking for a short route to the start and finish line. Yeah, slightly improves there, but stays 3rd. Decent effort from Zegar.
Yeah, good effort. So it's Janowski, Schmarslik, Zegar, Mikkelsen and Woofenden. We've had 5 of the 16 riders. Yes, all 16 riders are here tonight. So 5 of the 16 have been out there for qualifying now and have done their quickest lap possible, and it is Janowski who still holds that advantage with that fast time of 13.979. Next up then, here we go. Jason Doyle, yeah, busy man right now.
He is. He's riding near enough every day and scoring lots of points in the league, but isn't quite producing it at Grand Prix. And Jason is frustrated about that, I'm sure. He's just outside the top 8. He's in 9th.
Yeah.
So looking for a big performance, more than capable.
Right, he's a world champion.
Exactly right. But we haven't seen that sort of form this year in the first half of the season. Bit of grip on the track. Could well see an improvement for him, and you can see he's enjoying that, allowing the bike to run high on the banking, looking to generate lots of momentum, keep the wheels in line, try and produce a big time. But last night a maximum from 4 rides for his Swindon Robins team as they won away at Ipswich, which was a super result for the Robins.
Well, it was a comprehensive win. I didn't see that coming.
No, I did not.
Troy Batchelor.
Exactly, unbeaten last night. 14.1, he's in 6th, but he's riding very wide. He's giving it absolutely everything. He's now just riding mid-track now. That might produce a slightly better time. 14.1 again. No, he stays in 6th place. Gave it everything, though.
Yeah, he did. Jason Doyle, 2017 world champion then. As Kelvin said, just outside the top 8 right now. That, of course, a reminder, the top 8 guarantees you a place in next year's series. And tomorrow night, round 6 of this year's 10-round world champion. We're here in Malilla tomorrow, 4 nights' time, back to Tetero and the Bergring Arena in Germany. Then it's Voyens in Denmark.
Yep.
Then it's Cardiff on September the 21st. British fans watching this, get your tickets for Cardiff. September the 21st, 5 o'clock start. And then we finish up in Torun in Poland for the final round. So Patrick Dudek of Poland, a high flyer in the series, off and running here in qualifying now.
Yeah, was a little disappointed with his result from Wrocław. He had the #1 gate and encountered the track freshly prepared each time. And he failed to score in a couple of heats. So they bounced back with a couple of victories, but just slipped out of the lead. Actually was a joint leader going there, but ended up 5th coming into tomorrow night's round. Here we go. He knows this place well, rides here, of course, and knows this place extremely well, working hard. He's a small man, a lightweight man. Certainly a lot of attention on the weight of riders these days. They really do look very athletic, and they pay a lot of attention to their fitness levels these days now. Dudek.
It's a huge part of the sport, Kelv, isn't it?
Now, yeah, absolutely. You've got to be right on it into lap 4 and 14 flat, 3rd. Excellent last lap there. Excellent. Good effort there from Dudek.
Yeah, he moves into 3rd place. Patrick Dudek with that race, his 27th Grand Prix tomorrow. And even though he's only been in the Grand Prix, 2016 was his debut, he's averaging over 11 points per Grand Prix appearance, which is
he's a top
terrific
quality
effort. Yeah.
He's a top quality performer, and he had a bit of a time on the sidelines with a ban, but he's back, and he rides extraordinarily well.
His branding works as well. The green image. When you see fans in Poland wearing his merchandise, the green image,
it's very
works
popular.
a treat.
It's very popular, and it's eye-catching as well, so fair play to him. Now, here's a man who needs a big result. Very disappointing in Wrocław, only 2 points, and a disappointing Speedway of Nations as well, and had a good chat with him prior to qualifying starting today, and just said that he's reverted back to some earlier equipment, and just said that, you know, just needs to try and get a clear mind and give it everything. And they did a very good time in free practice. He was the fastest man from free practice. Can he reproduce it when it really counts?
Rides for Piratana here in Sweden, Esbjerg in Denmark, and Torun, who've just been relegated in Poland. I didn't see that coming.
No, they've got a good side, and they really haven't gelled this year. But for Niels, in the second half of the season, he's just outside the top 8. 2 points outside of the top 8, and needs to produce some big performances. Riders beginning to feel the pressure. Working overtime there, around the inside, trying to grab a little bit of extra grip there.
He's 2 points outside the top 8.
Yeah, he's on 34. It's really tight there. A big move from one of them can really rocket you up the charts. 14.1, he's in 8th at the moment. Needs to find something on this last lap.
Yeah, Niels Christian Iversen of Denmark then has got a date with Destiny next Saturday as well. If he doesn't make the top 8, he still has the Grand Prix Challenge next Saturday in Gorizon, Croatia, with some big name riders in that looking to get into the GP Series for next season. Absent tonight, no Greg Hancock, no Antonio Limbach after his crash in Voyens last weekend, and Robert Lambert still injured as well. And we wish all those gentlemen all the very best. So that's the top 8, the 8 that have gone out so far in the qualifying classification in the Scandinavian FIM Speedway Grand Prix. And when we come back in a few moments' time, the next 8 will follow. Hi there, yes, welcome back. We are talking now to our worldwide broadcasters, of course, as we're here in Malilla in Sweden, the home of Dakarna in the Swedish League. Kelvin Tatum alongside me, as always, of course, and we've seen the first 8 riders. But let's talk generally about tomorrow night. Hard to predict a winner. Who's going to win the world title? The way it's looking at the moment, it's so tight. Who's going to get in the top 8? The series for me, Kelv, right now is delicately poised. Yeah,
it's red hot. We've got to the midway point, and you've got to believe we've got you know, a run of Grand Prix in the next 5 weeks. And this is where you've got to try and stay fit and healthy and produce the goods. This is really when it matters. Riders fighting for their Grand Prix futures, riders fighting for the top spot. And, you know, there's no doubt that it's one of those situations where all of a sudden character and mental strength are going to play a big part in the next 2 months. Can't wait. It's exciting. 61 points leads the championship. 3 riders there, you know, heading the charts. Leon Madsen, what a season he's been having. But Leon's injured.
Yeah.
He's struggling a bit. He's had an injection, so he really is. He had a crash for his Polish club, and he's really feeling the effects of that. So he'll be keeping his fingers crossed that he can produce something tomorrow night to keep him in the hunt.
Last season, Woofenden dominated for the majority, but allowed Smarslick bit by bit to come back into it.
He did, yeah.
Is it better this year that there's more people going for it?
Yeah, I think so. I do think so. I think it's always nice when it's really tight. So, yeah, at the moment, it's really, really tight, and it's exciting stuff.
Let's welcome back our British viewers now. Hi there, welcome along to the GMB Arena here in Malilla, the home of Dakarna in the Swedish League. Kelvin Tatum alongside me, Nigel Pearson, welcoming you along and looking forward to a great weekend here. Saturday night, tomorrow, 7 o'clock local time, 6 o'clock UK time. Join us for a terrific night. I think the programme in the UK actually on BT Sport gets underway at 5:45 with Natalie and Alan Rossiter in the studio, so look forward to that. And yeah, a great night. Lots of people in contention for the world title. More than last season, Kel, where Woofenden dominated early on.
Yeah.
Smarslick had a go late on and made him a little bit concerned, even though Woofenden brushes up to one side.
I think he must have been very concerned. He got down to 3 points at one stage, and when he reversed into the air fence in front of us in Torren, I thought it was all over. But to his eternal credit, he turned it around and won with a 10-point margin in the end. Good to see Jakob Torsell in the mix tomorrow night, of course. Won the Swedish Championship recently, and is enjoying a good season after a slow start because he had injury issues.
Well, had an injury in the winter and missed the start of the season.
Exactly, yeah. So, you know, it's good to see that he's recaptured his form, and he's looking good, and I'm sure he's excited about being in the Grand Prix, representing the club as well, of course. He rides here for Dakarna, and Jakob is a decent rider himself. What sort of time is he looking at? 14.3. A little slower. Quite often the second session is slower than the first.
There's a bit of rain in the air now as well, Kelv.
Right, okay.
It wouldn't be Malilla without a bit of rain, would it?
No, it's become the modern-day buoyants in that regard, where we can't seem to avoid the rain. But he's done his time, and that puts him in 9th place as the first runner of the second 8.
Yep.
And 0.32 off, a little slower, but we'll see. We'll reflect on his time once we've seen 2 or 3 more, because, as I say, quite often the second session does end up being a little slower than the first 8.
So it's Matt Janowski who still leads qualifying then, and as things stand, we'll have first pick of what position in the 1 to 16 to go for tomorrow night. And therefore, that choice will be influenced by the gate positions that Magic has. Kelv's already studied the various gate position stats from down the years here in Malilla. And here's Leon Madsen, joint leader of the championship, but suffered a crash in a Polish league meeting last Friday and withdrew from the SEC, the European Championship of Buoyance, last weekend with ligament damage.
And bearing in mind, he is the European champion. That was a massive decision for Leon to make. He's had an injection. He tried without earlier on, but couldn't hang on to it. And then subsequently he has. It's all down his right side. His right ankle, his right shoulder are giving him a lot of discomfort. He's roaring away there, and he's already into 14 flat. That's a fabulous time.
Puts himself.
Beware the injured Speedway rider.
Yeah. The wounded animal.
Leon Madsen producing a stunning time there to push himself right back into second place. That's a fabulous effort from him on his opening lap. Leon Madsen has been a revelation this year, and even though he's injured and he's hobbling around the pits, I've got to say 2:14 flats, puts himself into second place. Very good effort.
14.053 was his lap time, the best lap time there. Amazingly, with all his injury problems, riding through the pain, but the injection must have worked.
It has. It's just numbed him up completely. He can't feel the right side at all. So that's certainly allowing him to produce a decent time. And he'll be pleased with that, because there's no doubt that he was concerned about tomorrow. But if he can stay in that sort of form, then he'll certainly go away with a hat full of points. Now, Martin Vasilek comes out on track. What a season he is having.
Yes.
He is fit, he is going well, he's had 3 second places, he's desperate to get a win, and I've actually picked him in my fantasy league nights to win tomorrow night.
Oh, that's ruined his chances then.
It has, and I did apologise to him earlier on. I said, sorry mate, you know, but if it all goes wrong, it's down to me. But I'm sure it won't. Martin is the ultimate professional these days.
Another one who's a super athlete as well. You look at him and there's not any fat on him whatsoever. He's highly tuned in terms of an athlete. The hard yards that he puts in the winter to get in peak physical condition.
Oh yeah, and he's maintaining it even through the busy schedule. He still looks a lean, mean fighting machine, that's for sure. And Martin now working hard to try and produce a time, but it's not coming to him. Just shows you how good. Just shows you how good that time was from Madsen.
Yeah.
Madsen, you know, because we reflect on the time from Torcell that put him in 9th, and well, he's actually in 11th, actually, as we said. But Martin Vasilek has gone 10th with those times. So again, when you reflect on Madsen being able to produce a 14 flat, which is less than a 10th behind Janowski, great. But I think Martin will be a little disappointed with that.
Yeah, 14.292. A reminder, the bikes have transponders this year, and it's the first time ever that we've had timing mechanisms in Speedway Grand Prix, all with the aim of bringing the sport into line with other motorsports. Kelvin, you've been involved, of course, you're still riding motocross yourself, but with the karting industry as well. And you're quoted as saying you lived on the watch on qualifying.
You had to, because look at the timing was important. So this is something new to Speedway, of course. It will take a bit of time to come to terms with it, but it's certainly giving Friday a lot more interest, and you can just see by the body language of the rider, you know, how hard they're trying, and that's certainly given it a competitive element that was lacking in previous years. Max Frick, who's had a good time, is on 31 World Championship points, outside the top 8, but he certainly has ridden nicely this year. He's going to Gotteshan to the GP Challenge next weekend, so he can qualify by right. 3 Grand Prix riders will be declared for 2020 next weekend, so a huge event coming up. But Frick, 14.2, a couple of those steady and consistent.
The Grand Prix Challenge is arguably one of the biggest meetings in World Speedway every year.
Has to be.
For me, it doesn't get the attention that it deserves.
I've never understood it because every year they're the first 3 that are in straight away, and there's no doubt that the GP Challenge is a hugely competitive event. Max Frick riding well, growing in stature. He moves into 10th place.
Yeah, nice rider, Max Frick, and of course we've seen quite a lot of him in the UK, in Manchester, ripping up the National Speedway Stadium.
He rides that place particularly well.
And he's got Gorishan next weekend, and then on a bank holiday Monday for a midday start. Got to be back in the UK nice and early for Bellevue against Kings Lynn on the bank holiday Monday for a midday start. So that's an early flight. Yeah.
Busy schedule, he won't get a lot of sleep. Artem Laguta now. Artem Laguta has won the Speedway of Nations for 2 consecutive years. Won Togliatti just a few short weeks ago, but he's not winning enough races at Grand Prix. And a rider that looked really good last year hasn't quite managed to reproduce the same performances this year. And the second half of the season is going to be important for him. He's riding a tight line here, moves into 7th after his first lap. Certainly the shorter way appears to be a fast way. That's a very short way. And he's looking for a time. 14.1, it's working. He's into 5th place. Fair play to him. Smart, intelligent riding here from Artem Laguta.
Yeah, he's got a nice riding style, and good to see him back in the Grand Prix series, but he's just not gone all his own way this year, apart from winning the Monster Energy FM Speedway of Nations. But look at this. Yep, 5th place overall now.
Yeah, that's good stuff from Laguta. When you consider 1 or 2 of the boys in the second group have been a lot slower than that. He's recognised not worth chasing the grip out wide. He's hugged the inside, and he's produced a solid performance there. 5th place, decent effort.
Janowski, Madsen, Schmarslik, Dudek, Laguta. That's the top 5 now. We've had 13 riders out there on track, and Maciej Janowski still retains that lead on 13.979 in qualifying here. The fastest ran around Malilla so far tonight, and here comes fast Fredrik Lindgren, a man who knows this place pretty well. He's done a lot of laps around here down the years.
Yeah, rode for the club for a number of seasons, of course, and He does know it inside out, and there's no doubt that Freddie, ever since he had that concussion, hasn't quite been the same. And so now with the second half of the year, or Grand Prix season ahead of him, needs to produce. If he wants to be world champion, he's going to have to come up with some big victories and some big points hauls. Hasn't produced a big, hasn't produced a great time so far in the qualifying. Well, but maybe today will be the time when we produce it. Track's a little bit more grippy, maybe more to his liking. He hugs the inside like Laguta does, charges to the line first time, 14-1. Pretty good effort into 9th. It's tight though. I mean, the difference in times is marginal. Hundredths of a second between riders. Again, turning the bike tight. Will he come out tight? No, just a metre off the line. He's a little slow, just shows. Now he's running wide. I'm not sure that's going to work. It's going to feel nice because there's more grip there, but the added distance generally means it's a slower lap time.
Well, I've read your column in the programme tonight, Kelv.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's very well written.
Yeah.
And it has to be said, you've made a point. If he's going to win the world title, it could be make or break for this man tomorrow night. Well,
yeah, he has, you know, a couple of home Grand Prix, so he needs to take advantage of that. Not always easy in front of the weight of expectation, weighs heavy at times, but Freddie's been around in a long time now, so, you know, he's into 9th with that, so a reasonable effort from him. Only just 10th and a bit off, but I think he needs a big night to really recapture that form that we've seen earlier in the year.
So he is in 9th place right now, Freddie Lindgren. And here comes the Russian rocket, Kelv.
Yeah, and what a season Emil's enjoying. He's been superb. Doesn't make enough finals, but he's been very consistent. And there's no doubt that he's in with a really good chance of winning his first World Championship. We thought it was going to come a few years ago, but it disappeared off to the European Championship.
Just did one lap in Wrocław, I recall.
Yeah, and it was a good time too.
Yeah.
And leads the World Championship, joint leader, of course, on 61 points. Lovely rider, super looking guy on the bike.
Very popular, isn't he?
Very nice guy, and very well turned out as well. Of course, he was part of the team that won the Speedway of Nations. Togliatti, they were overjoyed about that. Needs to do 1 in Hallstavik in Sweden, so can he make it 2 out of 2 for the Swedish GPs? 7th, decent time. And, he's working hard. He's taken a line and made note of what his compatriot did. Laguta hugging that inside line. Let's see if that's faster. No, slightly slower, so he stays in 7th. Can he produce something on this last lap? He's working hard, wants a time. Wants a good pick for tomorrow night's Grand Prix. Emil Sayfutunov leading the World Championship, working hard in qualifying.
So Emil Sayfutunov is 7th out of 15 now with a time of 14.113. And he'll have to slow up because this...
the red
lights are on.
That's
yeah.
right. Obviously enjoying himself.
Yeah.
And well, that's always good to see when a rider wants to keep going. That's a very different attempt from what he did 2 weeks ago, where he literally did 1 flying lap and pulled up. I think he would have done about 10 there, if the fuel had allowed him. But a sensible effort in 7th place, but a rider that's enjoying a fabulous season. And that's great to see. He's had some injury issues, but right now he's looking good.
He did on 16 laps, like the 16-lapper at Ipswich. Did you ever ride in that?
I did indeed, and got a puncture on lap 13. Unlucky 13.
No
Absolutely
way.
Gutted. Never did it again.
Where were you in the race?
I was second.
Oh,
so
dear.
I was going okay, but that is a marathon. But Kolodje out in his national colours, so we can see him loud and bright.
Yeah, he's not in camouflage tonight.
No,
is
he's
he?
not.
So,
it's
yeah.
more than... Kolodje, of course, enjoying a good season. He's got top 8 now. Won a Grand Prix in Prague, of course. Made the final in Wrocław. Just missed out on the rostrum.
Quite a comeback to the series, isn't
Super.
it?
Yeah, won the Polish Championship. He's having a great year. Really good. Understated guy, doesn't say too much. Mid-30s now. But I tell you what, he's doing very nicely.
Served his apprenticeship in the UK as well. Janis Kawadze, he rode for the old Reading club at the old Small Mead Stadium.
Reading Bulldogs, as they were known that year.
Yeah, that's right.
Here he comes. He's a lightweight, another lightweight rider. 14 flat, 3rd place. Once again, Kolodje's form in the Grand Prix continues. That's a great effort. Him and Leon Madsen in this second half have done really nicely.
3rd place
Yeah.
for Janis Kawadze, 14 5.078. Madsen, by the way, despite his injury difficulties, second overall. So Janowski's lead is preserved. It's Matsej Janowski who will have first pick of where to go in the 1 to 16 for tomorrow evening. And those unique gate stats that Kelvin quoted at the top of the show about the gates that have been most successful here at the GMB Arena in Malilla down the years. It's Janowski and Madsen and Kawadze, the top three. Let's confirm the 1 to 16 then in qualifying here in Malilla. Janowski leads the way. Then it's Madsen, Kawadze, Smarslik, Dudek, Laguta, Zagar, Saifutinov, Mikkelsen, Woffenden, Lindgren, Doyle, Iversen, Frick, Vasilik and Torshell. So that's your 16, 1 to 16 then here in qualifying. We'll get some reaction, we'll get the all-important pick from the riders when we come back in a few moments. Hello everyone, we're still here, don't worry about that. They've gone to a commercial break on some stations,
Where
but
are you going to go?
Stick with us, you know it makes sense. But you know, we talk about qualifying now, Kelv, it's fascinating here. What the viewers can't see is we've had riders here, Torshell, Matsej Janowski, Ty Woffenden, they've all been stood around here, our studio, watching, studying qualifying. So they obviously have a deep interest in it.
Well, they have, and also they need to now reflect on where they're finishing, because of course they've got to compute what number they might get. Obviously the first 2 or 3 will probably have the luxury of being able to choose, but as it gets later on, this man, of course, Janowski, will take the first pick. I sense that he will go for a number that gives him 2 gate 1s. Number 5 is a popular pick, because not only do you get 2 gate 1s, you get a nice spread of rides as well, and riders quite like that. Nice rider, Janowski, and as I said earlier on, he needs a strong second half of the season to sort of jet propel him up the league. He's in 8th place, but it's so tightly condensed there. If you can put in like a 14, 15-point haul, that can really give you a little bit of a buffer and secure your future, really.
So Phil Morris, the FIM Speedway Grand Prix race director, is here, about to lead the way for the riders to make their picks with Matsej Janowski, a rider who has done a lot of laps around this track. He's leading the way, he'll have first pick. Kiri Bloor, our pit reporter here, she's going to be interviewing several of the riders as well, and that's going to be coming up very shortly indeed. But some great performances. Madsen and Kawadze in the second half there of qualifying.
Agreed.
Very impressive indeed. And we've got the pick coming shortly when we're rejoined by BT Sport in the UK. Hi there, welcome back to the GMB Arena here in Malilla in Sweden. We have seen the 16 riders out there qualifying, and it's Matsej Janowski who leads the way. He will have first pick of what number from 1 to 16 to go in the riding order tomorrow night. And of course the gate stats will have been studied by the rider, his representatives, and looked at these unique stats that you quoted earlier about this track.
Well, 104 wins from the inside gate, nearly double than any other start. So gates 1 and 2 are generally very successful here. So I'd be very surprised if he ignored the fact of he has the choice of being able to take a number with 2 gate 1s. So number 5 jumps out at me. He won't be too much longer before we see Matsej coming up to choose. And also, Kelv, we talk about the interest within qualifying. I can just tell you that what you didn't see behind our camera there was Janowski, was Woffenden, was Jakob Torshell, several riders, Niels Christian Iversen, glued to the qualifying system here. They were glued to the league table of timing. They are fascinated by this qualifying system. They are. They want to do as well as they can. As I say, that competitive element coming into Friday is a big boost. So that's nice. We've got guys now gathering around. It won't be too much longer. We're looking at the silky style of Janowski, a multiple Grand Prix, 5 Grand Prix wins you told me earlier on. Yeah, so, you know, could have been more. He's led the World Championship at times. Injury had certainly curtailed it a little this year, but he needs to turn the style on in the second half of the season, maybe win a Grand Prix and really secure his top 8 position. And I'm sure that will be certainly on his agenda moving forward. And here he knows this place well, rides it nicely. I'm sure he's excited about tomorrow night. fingers crossed it doesn't rain too much, because at the moment the track's really behaving itself.
The odd shower forecast for tomorrow, that's all. So
keep the dust down.
Keep the dust down. We get underway here at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. First race, 4 minutes past 7. That's 4 minutes past 6 in the UK. So here we go with the draw. Phil Morris, our race director, is conducting this now with the riders in qualifying order 1 to 16, with Matt Sajanowski first. The riders and their representatives, their managers, have been studying the programme.
First to pick.
And who's going to go
in
where?
qualifying.
Matt Sajanowski
chooses
Kelv,
start position.
you predicted it.
Number 5.
Not a surprise, Nige. Number 5, 2 gate ones. You start and finish with that in your 5 rides.
Let's get a word with Magic now. He's with Kiri.
Now, Magic, tell me why you picked number 5 there.
You can tell me. I don't know actually. Yeah, it's a hard decision because when we look to the forecast, it's a little bit dangerous with the rain. So, but I feel like number 5 maybe will be good for me.
I think so. You've got 3 red gates there. That's definitely promising, at least.
Yeah, we will see. Anyway.
All right. Thanks, Magic.
Thank you.
Well, you get 2 gate ones for
second in
5.
Qualifying is Danish rider.
Yep, here's Leon Madsen, who injection and all, and straight for number 1.
Number 1.
Fair play. Again, 2 inside gates.
And he'll start with the inside in the heat number 1.
And finish in heat 17 on the inside.
Okay, there you go, Leon.
Now,
was that the choice you wanted? That's not a bad pick for you there with gates 1.
Yeah, I think at the moment that's the best choice for me. I have the same brake after every race, and I'm coming out after the grading where the track is a bit more smooth. So yeah, I think at the moment it's the best pick for me.
All right, I'm feeling okay?
No, but I'll give it a go and do my best.
All right, thanks, Leon.
Thank you.
Well, he's not feeling very well, but he was very fast.
Okay, and third fastest during qualifying was Janusz Kolodze from Poland. Janusz, please select your start position number.
Kolodze coming forward. Coming forward now. And he's going to go for...
Janusz has selected start position number 8.
Number 8. That will give him 2 gate 2s. Starts in heat number 2 off gate 4.
Let's get some reaction with Kiri.
Janusz, you went straight in there with number 8. Was that where you were wanting to head?
Yes, I think this is maybe lucky number for me tomorrow, and I keep fingers to tomorrow.
Okay, well, historically, blue gate and red gate working very well here. So you've got 3 of those, so hopefully it will work for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good stuff from Janusz Kolodze, who's riding nicely this year. And now we have Bartosz Marslik.
We have indeed.
Joint leader. World Championship.
Has chosen start position number 13.
Well, that's another number that gives you 2 gate 2s, 2 gate 1s rather. So I'm happy with that.
Let's hear from Bartosz now, speaking to Kiri.
Okay, Bartosz, sitting in there with number 13. Are you happy with your choice?
Yeah, I think so. These numbers are very nice, but we'll see tomorrow.
We will do indeed. Thanks, Bartosz.
Thank you.
Yeah, needs a good opening ride from gate 4, and then the inside gates come in his next 3 heats.
Okay, let's hear. Well, let's see now. The green machine, Patrick Dudek, just asking.
Well, rides here,
Papa
so he
Dudek,
should know where he wants to start from, and obviously it's a little more complicated now.
Thinking about it. Thinking about it.
Lots of deliberation.
I think he's gone for 14 now.
No, I think he'll be okay. Patrick has selected start position number 14.
So he starts.
Thanks for that, Phil. We got there in the end.
Inside gates, gate 2 initially, then gate 1, but 2 outside gates. No hesitation from Laguta.
Yep.
Number 12 for him, and that gives him 2 gate 2s to finish in his 4th and 5th ride.
Slovenian Mati Jaga.
He's Mati now from Slovenia.
Mati has selected start position number 9.
9.
So
9
number
even.
9.
I can't see properly from the angle here. I need glasses.
So he gets 2 inside
borrow yours?
gates. Yeah, you can, but they're reasonably expensive.
I know, so you've told me many times.
That's right.
The current leader,
Here's Emil.
Russian Emil Saifedinov. Emil has selected start position number 4.
Okay, well, he gets 2 gate 4s, but he'll be obviously confident that he can get a good run from there. But the options are now becoming slightly more limited.
Next
Mikkel Mikkelsen now, of course, in as a replacement, an injury replacement. Riding very well. He goes,
number 2.
goes for number 2, and that will give him 2 gate 2s. He'll start and finish his 5 rides on the same gate.
Yes, of course, no Antonio Limbach tonight after his crash. It was a horrifying crash in Voyens last weekend at the European Championship. Now it's Ty Woffernan, the 3-times world champion, a recent colleague of ours on the BT Sport team.
Yeah, very enjoyable evening we had with him on Monday at Wolverhampton. A little bit scary at times, but we got through it.
Ty has selected start position number 15.
Number 15 for the world champion.
Yep.
And he will start with an inside gate, but he will end up with 2 gate 3s. Gate 3 is actually not the best gate here.
Only 6 riders left now, 6 positions left. Freddie with his smartphone, with his grid on there, after studying the race card.
Selected start position number 10.
Number 10 for Freddie.
Yeah, 2 gate 3s, but starts on the inside in his opening ride, looking to get points early on.
Doyle, please select your start position number.
Straight in.
Jason has started off start position number 11 tomorrow.
12th man, Jason Doyle.
Okay, so Jason's, was that number 11 for Jason?
Is it 11 or 12?
I'm not sure.
Okay, unfortunately, Max Frick is not here, so he's forfeited his position. Next.
Wow. Max Frick will just take what he's given then.
From Denmark.
There you go. It was 11 for
Selected
Jason Doyle.
Start position
he's not the 12th man.
Number 7 for Niels Christian Iversen, looking for a big performance tomorrow night. Starts on gate number 2 in heat 2, and he will have 2 gate 3s. Gate 3 on the stats is not good.
Here is Max Frick.
He's
there you go.
better late than never.
Sorry, Max, I don't know what happened there, but obviously they thought you'd missed your turn, but you were stood there, so I will allow you to take the next position.
Right, okay.
A little confusion there, but Max Frick is here.
Selected start position number 6.
He's gone for number 6. Let's hope that was his choice initially. But that gives Max 2 gate 4s. He'll start
Next
on gate 3
to the top of the table,
in heat 2.
Now we go to Martin Vaculek. Only a couple left.
He's going for number 3.
Selected start position number 3.
Start from gate 3 in the opening race.
The local
he will
card,
actually have a tough start to the meeting. 3 outside gates.
It's a tough choice.
What are you going to go for, Jakob?
Number 16. Jakob
Torsel's gone for number 16, by the way. So he'll start on gate 3 in heat 4.
Yeah, OK. Good luck to all the boys tomorrow night. It's going to be a terrific night at Speedway here.
It is.
Qualifying is done and dusted. Maciej Janowski, first pick for the riding order tomorrow. And here we see now Maciej Janowski going for number 5. And that means 2 red gates. Similarly for Leon Madsen, who will start in heat 1 off the inside gate, and then he'll finish in heat 17 off the inside gate as well. 2 gate 1s for Bartosz Szmarslik as well. 2 gate 1s for Matti Zegar. Remind us of that stat for gate 1.
104 wins here in the time we've been coming here, which is nearly double the amount of victories than any other gate. So it is an advantage. Gate 2 is also an advantage. Gate 3 has been the graveyard in previous years, but gate 4 was certainly better last season, because there's no doubt that the weather played its part, because it was very wet here last year. But all things being equal, you've got to think that the inside gates could well be an advantage, but time will tell.
Well, if the track's like it is tonight, tomorrow we're going to see some terrific racing.
Indeed we will.
Let's get the reigning champion back from injury. Good to see him back. Ty Woffernan is speaking to Kiri.
OK, Ty, well, first off, happy with your gate choices?
It doesn't really matter. It's just for the fans to see some statistics on qualifying and race day. So, you know, I've won 3 world titles getting given gate positions, so it doesn't mean anything to me.
OK, talk to me about the track out there. How did you find it?
Got a little bit choppy. They put a bit of dirt on because there's a bit of rain. So it'll probably be completely different tomorrow because the weather forecast is to rain again. So, yeah, is what it is. Don't really feel too good on the bike today. Felt like I put a decent few laps together in qualifying, maybe not on the times, but you know, was riding a little bit smoother and a little bit more comfortable. Still trying to find that rhythm that I was in before my crash. So yeah, tomorrow's a new day. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a new day indeed. Tell me about the fans out here. Certainly going to be an exciting day for them.
Yeah, if there's any here.
All right, thanks so much, Ty. Back to you, Calvin and Nigel.
Well, I think
there'll be plenty here, to be honest.
Yeah, there will be.
Yes.
And also, Ty saying it doesn't really matter. I've won 3 world titles being given gate positions. I reckon if he would have been in the top 2 or 3 of qualifying there, he might have actually placed a bit more emphasis on that.
Quite possibly indeed, but I think when you don't do such a good time, then you'll probably be a bit nonchalant about it. But no, like, he's going to finish with outside gates. Let's hope that works out for him. He needs a big score. He probably needs 14 or 15 points to really give himself some momentum to put pressure on the guys around the top 8. But he's more than capable of doing that. He's won here before. He's won from bad gates. We saw him last year. He had a couple of bad draws, but still managed to produce. But he's a 3-time world champion. He's a bit special. Yeah, there'll be a great atmosphere. They're camping outside already, it has to be said. And the racing starts 4 minutes past 7 tomorrow night, 4 minutes past 6 UK. Speaking of the UK, a Bellevue rider, Max Frick, is with Kiri.
Thanks, Nigel. He is indeed. OK, Max, well, a little bit of confusion down there picking your gate. Were you happy with the choice that you got in the end?
Yeah, it's we all got to go off every gate at some point throughout the meeting. So, you know, a gate draw seems OK. It's probably not the best one we could have had, but, you know, all in all, I think we got a lot of information from the practice and the qualifying today. We tried a few different things, and, yeah, I think we're in a good position to be able to, you know, make the most for tomorrow.
OK, and tell me about the track. How did you find it out there? Not a bad time you set.
Yeah, my qualifying time wasn't the greatest, but throughout practice and things like that, we tried loads of stuff, and some things worked, some things didn't. So my qualifying time, I wouldn't say worked that well, but some of the other things I used in the practice, I was quite happy with. So we'll go with that for tomorrow and see where we end up.
Well, getting a good run here, obviously a rider replacement for Greg Hancock. Are you enjoying being with us for the season?
Yeah, at the minute I've you know, done quite a lot of the GPs. I think I've missed one, so it's pretty awesome to be able to come in and have the opportunity to be able to ride without the pressures of being in the series the whole time. We just kind of turn up and have a bit of fun and race with the boys and try and learn as much as possible.
All right, thanks so much, Max. All right, handing it back down to you guys.
Thanks very much indeed, Kiri. Kelv, what's your thoughts on Max? I think what he's done so far, I think he's a good addition to the series.
Yeah.
If he doesn't make the challenge next weekend in the top 3, then he's going to rely on a pick, of course. But what are your thoughts? He's got to a semi-final, he's got to a final. You know, is he good enough to be a full-time Grand Prix rider yet?
I think he is, I think he is. I think just a little bit more consistency is what he's got to work on. But there's no doubt that when he clicks, he's a class act, and we've seen it on occasions this year. He isn't that far outside the top 8, so he could actually qualify by right, but he's got a couple of opportunities.
Yeah, started his professional career in the UK with the Edinburgh Monarchs in the 2nd division, and
Indeed,
has really
he did.
made great strides forward. Now, Leon Madsen, you got a feel for him after that crash in the Polish League last weekend. He's joint series leader, but he's injured, he's hurt. But having said that, he finished 2nd in qualifying. Not bad. He's with Kiri.
Not bad indeed, Nigel. Thank you so much. OK, well, Leon, the boys just saying not feeling 100%, but still 2nd in qualifying. I don't know where you found it from, but it's pretty impressive.
I don't know either. No, we pulled out something special for that qualification, and it seemed to work out fine. But it wasn't easy. I wasn't happy in the practice. I couldn't sit on the bike. I was in too much pain with my ankle, so I couldn't race in the dirt. So feeling uncomfortable and a lot of pain. So yeah, get the second best time and available to choose start number 1. I'm quite satisfied about that.
Yeah, exactly, and staying positive. It is all about collecting those points tomorrow. That's why you're here.
Exactly, you know, like under different circumstances, if it wasn't a GP, I probably would have stayed home, but to stay home and don't get any points tomorrow would be a big disaster for me. If I can come away tomorrow with some decent points and still be in the mix, you know, then I'm very happy.
Thanks so much, Leon. Stay strong for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, we wish Leon Madsen well. Any rider who defies injury and, you know, really works hard, we admire them, of course. The FIM medical staff will, of course, have to be satisfied that he's okay. He's proved that he has with finishing 2nd here tonight in qualifying here in Malilla. Now, what are the standings in the World Championships going into round number 6 tomorrow night? Look at the top 3, 61 apiece for Smarslik, Saifutinov and Madsen. 2 points behind them, Vaculik. Then it's Dudek on 55, Lindgren a little bit behind on 47. Big night for him tomorrow, as you've written in the programme, Kelv.
Yeah.
Kawadze 44, and then the battle for the top 8 is on as well.
Yeah,
Janowski 36, Doyle 35, Laguta 34, Everson 34, and as you said, Max Frick only 5 points off the top 8.
Yeah, he's not out of it, you know, and if Max can put it together like he did in Prague, then there's no doubt that he can, and Prague and Halstavik, of course, where he made the final, there's no doubt that Max has an opportunity to get into the top 8 and secure a future in the Grand Prix. Of course, he can do it next weekend if he can get in the top 3 in Godashan. It's a tough night, but I'm sure he'll be giving everything he can. This is a terrific track. Yep. It's got a bit to live up to after Wrocław because that was sensational.
I like the banking round the bends, Kelv.
So do I. And riders do as well. It's a real bowl of a track. When the conditions are right, we see some superb speedway. We've seen it in recent years. If the weather behaves itself, then we will see that. We'll have a healthy crowd, a great atmosphere, and these GP boys will thoroughly looking forward to a great night of speedway.
The way the banking is here, does it remind you of your Bradford days riding at Odsal Stadium?
Yeah, to a degree, certainly. You know, when Bradford was working well and you had the grip there, you could generate so much pace. So you'll see it tomorrow with guys coming out of turn 2, where they square that corner off and make a long straight and then dive bomb going into turn 3. It really is very spectacular. And as I say, if the track's similar to what we've experienced here this evening, then there's no doubt that we will see those type of moves, and riders will be very much looking forward to it.
Who have you tipped to win tomorrow night?
I've gone with Martin Vashalik for tomorrow.
Poor old Martin. Great stuff tonight, Kel. Thanks so much indeed. Thanks to Kiri in the pits as well. We'll be back tomorrow night for live coverage of the FIM Scandinavian Speedway Grand Prix. We'll see you then.
Good night.